What up, my devils? Sensei Tutum with another video for you. So, a lot to talk about this week. I do one of these videos a week. I think of hard and long about what I'm going to do for you. And I had a few different ideas this week. First I was going to do a silver update for you because I think it's a very relevant update in that market. And then, all this altcoin craziness going on. Thought about doing that. And then, of course, all this equity madness. I got the Amazon chart here. This isn't what I'm going to do, FYI. But everything's mooning. It's crazy. And so I thought for a minute about it. And when everything moons, when you look at all these markets, Bitcoin, altcoins, it's all related. Foreign exchange markets, the equities, the commodities, when they're all mooning, what's generally going to happen? Well, I mean, look at this move. Look at this. This parabolic move by Amazon. It looks like a freaking altcoin. Well, the dollar's probably moving, right? They all trade against the dollar. So I wanted to take a second to talk about the dollar. This is going to be a long video. I'm not going to, bore you guys with the dollar, but I think it's relevant to anybody trading any asset that you should always keep an eye on the dollar, because typically the dollar's on the other side of that equation that you're trading, right? It's yada yada to the dollar. Maybe you're European, maybe it's to the euro, maybe you're British, maybe it's to the pound. But aren't you always thinking about your personal country's currency to the dollar if you're a trader? I would imagine you are. I can't speak because to that, because I'm American. But whenever these things happen, it's pretty obvious to me, oh, the dollar's moving. And look what happened today. Big old dilly on the dollar. Not the hugest move, but relative to other moves, other days, it's a pretty big day. Now, of course, in the times that we're living in, we have to think a little bit deeper about it. And I do not put a stamp on it right now. I am not an economist. I do not know what the Fed is doing necessarily. I don't think about fundamentals. I think about charts. But if we think about a little bit about, if you call it fundamentals, I don't know what you want to call it. We'll call it supply and demand. To me, it's basics that you need to think about when trading. When you're thinking about where can a possible target be on, for instance, a Ripple, you have to think about the supply, right? When you're trading Ripple against Bitcoin, against dollar, whatever, that supply is massive. So you always have to consider that, right? Whether they're in a vault somewhere or not, whether a dollar is in a vault somewhere or in a fabricated, cold wallet, say, because that's essentially what the Fed is doing. This asset's being created out of thin air by the Fed, literally button click. Ben Bernanke, go back, tell you from the financial crisis, that's what they're doing. There's no hard formula on how to create it. They just print it when they want to print it. Money printer grew burr. So whenever you see moves and everything's going the same direction, generally you can check the dollar and it's going the opposite way. Now, maybe potentially you have to think about, like I say, what is the Fed doing? If they're printing the dollar, are they sitting on those dollars? Are they lending those dollars? Are they injecting them directly into the markets? So a red dilly on the dollar, maybe there, could be because of massive prints or because lots of buying is happening, right? Which will inherently decrease the dollar value, especially if we're talking like, currency swaps and things like that. Because at the end of the day, the dollar is the safe haven currency, safe haven asset. So speaking of that, just to point out, just to show the relevance, when was the top of the DXY? March 20th, right? So what happened on March 20th of the rest of the assets? Well, let's look here. This is back to the SPX. Slight delay, damn near bottom. That was the top of the DXY, then moon. And what was the DXY doing before it topped? It was mooning itself. Look at this. Parabolic move. Not something you see in the dollar very often, right? This is a daily chart. It does happen. Think about what's happening back here, back in 14. And depending on, the Fed is always has an idea in mind. What do they want to do with the currency? Well, it's a worldwide struggle to devalue, right? Because you want to create inflation, not deflation. Well, unfortunately, at the moment, we are creating mostly a deflationary environment in the dollar, and that's why you've seen suppressed asset values. But then, since looks like 10 of June, the dollar's been going up, and markets have been doing pretty well. And of course, this isn't always directly correlated day to day, right? But overall, it's something to keep in mind. So the dollar was mooning, and then it tanked hard on the 20th of March. What happened 20th of March for SPX? Tanked hard, then mooned. Okay? Amazon tanked hard, then, again, delayed reaction, mooned. What's this? Bitcoin? Same thing. It gets oversold, and it did bounce, but then what happens after? It just naturally goes up. Dollar's going down. This is Digibyte. Altcoins, it doesn't matter. March 20th. We've been up since then, right? Higher, higher lows at least, mostly higher highs. This is silver. Look at that. Twitter, just a random equity. So no matter what you're trading, you should have an eye on the dollar. So I thought, let's just talk about the dollar a little bit. That was probably way too long of an intro, but I'm not going to get too long into the in-depth in the analysis of the dollar here. But if we look broadly at what the dollar's been doing, we can see what looks to be a 5-swing move, something like this, right? Blow off top, hard drop. Will we come down? Damn near tag the 50. Let's see if we can tighten this up a little bit. Get rid of this line so I can see the top. There we go. Damn near tag the 50. And look at the reaction. Now, we've gone up since then, but we have been going down. So let's go ahead and see if... go ahead and check the levels here. We're actually going through the golden corner pocket. Okay, so... good to know. We've actually gotten pretty deep retracement here. What's going to happen next? If we have a 5-wave move coming off of it, it's all about anchoring your count. If we can accept that this is 5 swings, right? Get in here, count it however you want. This seems like 5 swings. Even if you have it as 3 swing, let's take it down another level. So we can feel, I think that this looks more like 5 swings. But taking it down another level, again, this is a daily chart going all the way back to just on this move, back to January, February, whatever. What do we have even closer to where we can sort of get an intermediate range expectation of the market? Well, tanked hard, sideways, tanked hard. What's this? I mean, to me, and anybody that follows Sam's videos or the videos on this channel should, have an idea that this looks quite like a triangle. A, 1, 2, 3, B, 1, 2, 3, C, D, E, right? So A, B, B down here, C, D. You draw a trend line from A to C. Trend line from D to B, and remember there's a big old B here, but everything else pretty quick and simple. And you expect one complex wave in a triangle. So that, to me, like minds can differ, but to me that's almost nothing but a triangle. And this is, you can trade a triangle in so many different ways, but it's such a great anchor on any count, because, quick lesson here for free, what do we know about a triangle? It is the move that precedes the final move in any, structure pattern, right? So looking back to this bigger count here, if we have 5-wave moves here, what do you expect after? You expect 3 waves, and we've gotten damn near down to the 50. Not quite. So if we have strong move here, triangle, strong move, what happens after? It means that this would be an A, B, C, zigzag, right? Corrective pattern that would then be followed very likely by another 5-wave move of relative, size to this move. So now that's not to say that this can't keep going down, because if you count from the E, maybe this is, maybe it gets real big. Maybe it gets quite extended. You can't say. We have come down, just barely almost kissed the high probability area for wave 2. Potentially, maybe there's, maybe this, this is a daily chart. Maybe it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're putting in a 5th down, or maybe the low's in. You can check your signs for a bottom, divergences, things like that, which we're not necessarily getting on the largest daily time frame. Like, for instance, this RSI is not lower than this RSI, and it does not appear that it will be until it creates a new low. But you can look within smaller moves. But again, I'm not trying to turn this into a large analysis of the dollar, but I would say I'll let you guys take this potential triangle and take it into your own charts. Right? And then, of course, we can go ahead and throw a channel on that. And, of course, we haven't come down to the low of the channel, but we did break through the median, came damn near to the bottom. Could we make it for another thrust towards the bottom of this channel here and then right to the 618, which would also come right to this very large channel? Sure, we could. But, and it's what's going to happen. Basically, keep an eye on this is all I want to say. Is what's going to happen when this bottoms. It's going to go up large, if this is a 5-wave move, and it's in this triangle gives us strength and conviction into that idea, because again, the triangle precedes the final move in a pattern. So if this, sure, it could be turned into a W, and then we get an X and a Y, whatever, but we've already come down to damn near the high probability area for a wave 2. So we should be quite aware of the possibility that somewhere in this range, if not, soon, from around here, we're going to go up big. And when that happens, we just saw a relatively small red dilly, a relatively big red dilly today, I should say. And what happened? Everything in the freaking world mooned, and has been mooning since it's been going down since its top. We could go look, we can go back and check this top of June 30th, and you'd see the same thing. Been green. So just want to point that out to you guys. It's important for all traders, not just foreign exchange traders and FX guys. You guys know this. You watch this, you chart this, and then you trade other pairs against the idea of what the dollar is going to do on the broader scale, right? Against other things, not just say dollar, Swiss franc. But, equities guys, Bitcoin guys, you might not be looking at the dollar. And I just wanted to point it out. And not to be bearish other assets, but to me, this is, and honestly, the guys in the Discord, they see it. Educational members see most of the charts. Social guys get a ton of charts from me. And you guys see that they're, things are topping. And even, I posted the silver chart on Twitter yesterday at Sensei Tutum. It's right there on the screen. Go ahead and see it. I do see more upside to some stuff. Some things I see topping already. But, once that upside is completed, I see a larger retracement of those things. And when that's happening, I see the dollar will probably be going up. Keep an eye on it. Think about it. It's just something to chart, something to keep your eye on. It's very relevant to any trader. Just wanted to put that PSA out today. Hope you liked it. Toot out.